Welcome to the Chamber Neighbors Podcast, a show highlighting Chapin's community and commerce. Now here's your hosts, Greater Chapin Chamber of Commerce President and CEO Paul Sadler, and Chapin Neighbors Magazine's Daniel Rendelman.
This is Daniel with the Chapin Neighbors Magazine.
And I'm Paul Sadler with the Greater Chapin Chamber of Commerce.
And Paul, I bet we have a
treat.
I bet we have a treat today.
I think we do have a treat.
Who's with us?
Local, fun, awesome person we've got with us today. We've got Miss Mary Higginbotham with Good Works.
She is here.
She is here live and in person.
To the Chamber Neighbors Podcast, the Chamber House.
Thank you. It is a treat to be here.
Yes.
Oh, we got it. Okay, everybody here to high five.
High five.
Oh, come on. One,
High
2,
five.
3. It was difficult.
Love it.
Hopefully the sound effects went through.
Good thing we're not videoing.
So Good Works. We're gonna jump in here and just talk about what you do. It's interesting though when you look at the name, the way that it's spelled.
Mm-hmm.
Tell us about that, because when I first looked at it, I'm like, Guod? Guod?
Did they mess up with the font? There's a reason behind that, right?
There's an extra capital. So tell us about that and what you do.
So Good Works is while we are a nonprofit organization, we are a ministry. What we do is because Jesus told us to do this work, to help others. So with Good Works, we capitalize the G and the O and the D so that we can emphasize that God is at the center of everything we do, and He is why we do it.
Isn't that great?
Oh, cool. Well, tell us what you do. What do you do? What does Good Works do?
Good Works serves people in need in our community from Irmo up to the town line of Newberry. On this side of the lake with housing needs. So if you have a well that pump is broken or septic or your roof, floors, anything in a house, we can help and we can fix it in most 99.9% of the cases.
So who is we? Like, do you have a staff? Do you have hired contractors, volunteers? Like, who is this?
We have some of those. So I'm the only staff person.
Okay.
We have volunteers that do most of our work, except for technical things such as HVAC or well pump repair, replacement, septic work. Things like that, we do have contractors that come in and do that work. But most of everything we do is done by volunteers in our community.
Yeah, if I was volunteering, Mary, you probably don't want me messing with the HVAC or anything.
I would enjoy
a wall.
Actually, I would enjoy watching you mess with the sewage.
Call you septic.
Might be a
Please
crappy
do.
job.
It might be, right? Definitely. In fact, I would pay for this. Let's talk about this when we get done.
Let's do it.
That I'm gonna give you a call.
Yeah. So that's super. So it's neighbors helping neighbors.
Exactly. Yes.
And how long has the Good Works been around?
We've been around since 2003 officially, when we became an organization, a nonprofit. We were founded by Brinkley Melvin, who's a local business person here in Chapin, and he wanted to do something locally that felt that calling. And there was a family that their son went to school with his sons at Chapin High School, and come to find out that they didn't have indoor plumbing. And this was 2002.
In this area?
Yes.
In Chapin.
No indoor plumbing.
No indoor plumbing.
They definitely needed Paul the plumber.
Well, yes.
No.
But the call came to Good Works in Melvin. They started to
Well,
help.
his son came home. Brinkley's son came home and said, "Dad, I think this guy needs some help. He's showering at school for." Out of necessity, where you could tell it wasn't just because he had workout, earlier. So they went out and visited the family and found the needs were really great. They were in a very old home. In fact, the mother of the family said that she would pray every night that the house was not going to fall down on them.
Wow.
And so Good Works was really one of the inspirations for what Good Works does. So rather than, we do a little bit of building, but we saw the need for our clients in the area that they had the property been here for generations, but the homes were falling down around them and or in great need of repair. So felt like that was a real need as well. And so that's why we stepped in, and actually with that family, we knocked down the house. The person who did it with the machinery said it's going to take me hitting it one time and it's going to fall, and it did. And moved that out, put in a refurbished mobile home for the family, complete with, of course, indoor plumbing. So it's
Wow, I'm sure that family was so grateful.
Can you imagine?
yes,
for that?
yes, it's
And it's hard to believe, we've spoke with Alicia from We Care in the past, and it's just, it blows my mind every time that we hear from her and from you about the needs that we have in our community and people right in our backyard
Right.
who have these needs. People looking into Chapin think, oh, they've got everything that they need.
That's
There's a good amount of folks who are in need in our community. So
There
you
are.
guys do really good work to help those folks out in our community.
Thank you,
Well,
thank you.
and
Yes, the
and
need is
hearing that,
there.
so it's work for the homes, on the
Yes.
homes that's needed there for the families. And what I hear as well is it's removing the shame. Think of a kid that's having to go to school or to the YMCA to shower
Oh,
and
yeah.
not have indoor plumbing. So
Right.
how did you get involved with this though?
Well, so in 2014, I had I've been in nonprofit work since 2000, and I was with a large nonprofit for 14 years. And I had volunteered with Good Works through my church, like Mary Pres, and um, the director of Good Works, Sue Madden, who was truly an angel
She
and
was.
wonderful,
She was
wonderful
a wonderful
person.
person.
She passed away September 3rd of 2013. And so actually in our church bulletin, early of 2014 in February, there was a notice that Good Works was looking for a new director. And so I thought, wow, that would be awesome. When you work in a nonprofit organization, it's wonderful in lots of different types of organizations, whether large or small or statewide or not. And I loved where I worked, but to be able to be somewhere where I was seeing the people that I served on a daily basis and I was interacting and working with them, it's not something you can always do in the same way with a larger organization. You can't always see who you're serving. And then the ability to also have my faith as a central part of that was really important as well. So I was very hesitant, I admit, because those were big shoes to fill. But I felt like that God was prompting me and pushing me and saying, just step out, just go.
Absolutely.
And
Big
so
step.
it was
Big step in faith.
so
Absolutely.
in May of 2014, then I
So
stepped in with Good
we're
Works.
coming up on 10 years with Good Works then next year, aren't we?
It's just flown by.
Time flies. Time flies. Tell us
Yes.
about some of the other projects that you're doing through Good Works. I heard you did a tiny house at one point.
Yes.
That was pretty
Yes,
cool.
we got
Tell
a
us
tiny
about that and
house
tell us about
and-
some of the other projects that
Yeah,
you're
so
working on.
we do, like I mentioned, a little bit of building. We built a 2-bedroom house for one of our clients in 2015. And so that was a really awesome experience. Much of it built by volunteers, except for the foundation. You got to make sure that's solid.
Yeah,
Oh,
for sure.
Absolutely.
But and then we built that. The tiny house is something that we have been working on and built. It's a unique opportunity, I think, for some of our clients who maybe it's a single elderly person or older couple that needs somewhere that's, excuse me, that is it's very energy efficient. It's inexpensive to live in a tiny house, and it's easily manageable and handicapped accessible.
Are they only for short people, like tiny people? I've always wondered.
No, I don't think so.
So regular size?
I think you're right. Yeah. I think we can do that.
offer to anybody.
Okay,
We don't want to
that's
work for
that's good.
ourselves.
And the one recently was also, sorry, just always wondering. The one recently as well, other organizations have been a part of.
Yes,
I know with
yes,
volunteering with the
that's right.
Rotary group.
Very involved in helping us build that and
Rotary Club always loves to
Chapin.
hear about the tiny house.
Yeah,
It's
they
it's it's
do.
it's a
a neat
great
project.
it's a neat project.
They do. They do.
It's a neat project.
And Chapin Junior Women's Club was also a great sponsor of that.
Oh, good.
of the
There's some
tiny house
great
as well.
organizations here in
So
Chapin.
yes,
Man, I tell you.
another project that we are working on that we just we're in the middle of is a house that we discovered an elderly woman was living there. Her adult son was living there, and but sadly, to come to find out, he was not taking care of her. The house was in a horrible state, unlivable. And she's just a lovely woman. She's in her 80s, uses a walker. So we are now in the process of redoing that house. So
nice.
she is in a safe place with family right now, some other family.
Mhm.
He is no longer at property. And we have been working now to, we had exterminators come out, get that all clean. We had Rainbow Restoration was a great support.
Right.
Last week they cleaned. We got in there and pulled up carpets, completely cleaned the house, literally wiping down walls by hand. And then we're going to go back in and repair floors and get it to where
Wow.
it's back as she had it before.
Right.
Before,
Right.
you know,
Because we deserve that, right? We deserve to live in a house that is not filthy.
Right.
And we deserve
Right.
to be taken care of. So
Can you tell my teenagers that?
yes.
I know.
You know what? I say that and I
Oh,
think the same thing. I'm like, okay, my kids' bedrooms right now
So,
are
right.
probably not.
but what I'm hearing from Mary is it's not just the physical actions of working on a house or so. It's the interaction with your sane clients, with
Yes.
people, restoring hope,
Mhm.
helping them, helping a family
Right.
where you have this elderly woman who needed help and was in, it sounds like pretty much an abusive situation, and you
Yes.
come in and rescue her, and who knows how many years you've added to her life and the quality of life. Wow.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Where your volunteers from and how can somebody learn more about this to get maybe involved? They're listening today and they're like, you know what? I can do these things. I have these certain skills. So like where do you get the volunteers from? How can people get
Sure.
involved?
We get our volunteers from a lot of churches, civic
Mhm.
groups, and then word of mouth. And it can be anybody. You don't have to be a contractor. You don't have to be an expert in doing everything in a house. But if you
So
know
Daniel
how
can
to,
help.
you know,
Oh, listen, a power tool to me is a hammer.
Well, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I
Well,
am just,
I hear you.
I
Right.
am not good at
But
You
she
know,
needs
but we
probably
could-
people with hammers,
with
skills.
hammers.
Okay.
Yeah.
You can hammer,
Yeah.
Hey, stop. Hammer time.
That was bad.
Okay, so
but
bad.
don't wear the pants. Okay, don't wear those pants.
Don't ever say
Okay,
that.
so I will wear pants, but not those pants. So,
But not those.
Not those. Not the same thing.
volunteers coming in, helping, assisting.
Mhm.
Is there projects, always kind of going on?
So we have projects year round that we work on, and every day of the week, just about. Oftentimes, if we have volunteers they're working with us on a regular basis, our project volunteers, I'll call them and say, and if it were y'all, I would say, hey, I've got this project that's now come. This client came in. These are their needs. Can you help me? What's your schedule? And let's schedule time to go take a look at it, and then we'll schedule time of what we need. We
Okay.
provide all the materials, of course, and then it really is largely based on our volunteer schedules. So they tell me, hey, I'm going to be out of town this week, but I could do next week, or I can do next Thursday, and so it can be very
Yeah.
flexible.
You just mentioned something about you providing all of the supplies and things like that. How do you get that funding for those supplies? Do you have donors? Do
We do, yes. We get funding from our churches here in the area. They're wonderful donors to Good Works, as well as individuals and local organizations.
Right.
So that's what funds Good Works
Good.
and what we do.
And then how does somebody come to you? Is there an application process? Like if we know of a family in town who needs your assistance?
Yes. Yes, they need to they just give us a call.
Mhm.
We'll set up an appointment with them to come into the office so we can meet with them and go through the application and get
See
their
what their needs
information.
are and
Yes.
And the office is located where?
At 118 St. Peter's Church Road in Chapin,
Okay.
right
Awesome.
near the Hardys.
Right near the Hardys.
Yeah,
Everybody knows
very-
where that is.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
That's right. That's
So,
right.
why this? I mean, this is, I know that it's a need, but kind of
Mhm.
when you think about like the inspiration behind that in the outreach or your life, what would you say is kind of like that motivating factor?
Gosh, I think that the number one factor was and is um, following my faith and doing in service.
Mhm.
And that's what I believe that we're supposed to be doing is
Absolutely.
serving and serving our neighbors. And that was the impetus to the purpose of Good Works was was service. And then that is something here that's just such a concrete need.
Mhm.
And as you mentioned, you were talking about Alicia. Alicia and I talk about often how we're just so blessed in Chapin because we we have an organization that can touch somebody from all their needs. So
Mhm.
she and I will often say to our clients, I might say, do you have a food need? Hey, have you gone to We Care yet?
Mhm.
And vice versa with
Mhm.
Alicia. Hey, how's your
Work together.
house?
And what you've
Have
done
you
for the
gone
least
to
of
the
these,
Good.
you know,
Right.
what you've done for the least of these, you just said you've done for me. And from
Exactly.
that heart of faith being when I'm hearing the feet, the
Mhm.
hands of Jesus,
Right.
you
Yes.
know,
Right.
and I guess he was a carpenter, so this makes sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of coming together.
You know,
Makes sense. So, what
it's
does your day look like with Good Works?
sure. It's always different because it always depends on who's calling and who's coming in the door. Um, and sometimes I'll sort of joke that I need to get out in the field more because I miss, seeing our clients. So that's my favorite thing to do is to go out to their homes and go see how they're doing, go visit with them, see how their house is coming along. But typically a day will be is in the office, some part of that with just taking the calls and meeting with our
Right.
clients, and then also out in the field. So when I'm not there, it's because I'm out there at a
Doing things.
client's home.
And this work is, I mean, it's not temporary. You're doing something that's going to last for
Mm.
generations and affect families. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And it's never, Jesus said the poor will always be with you. And that's very true. I mean,
Oh,
we're
man,
always going to have
absolutely.
that need. Our clients will always, they do their best. They're always going to have needs.
Mhm.
Some clients we see one time ever. Some clients, they're parts of our Good Works family in the sense that we know them. We're there. Sometimes we'll be in a terrible situation and call me and Mary, can
Need some help.
I hesitate, but can you help me with this? Yes, we're here and you can count on us. So
Gosh, how
so
nice is that
that's
to have
awesome.
to have you and Good Works in our community? How can our listeners learn more about Good Works?
Okay, they can go to our website. It is goodworkssc.org. goodworksc.org. We're also on Facebook as well, so they can find us there, or they can call us at 803-345-2030. And if I'm not there to answer the phone, please leave a message and I'll call you back. So
Awesome.
So
Well,
it's goodworkssc.org.
yes.
And that kind of gets the conversation going for volunteers, for people that are in need.
Yes.
And in 2024, any ideas, plans, anything going on for the new year?
In 2024, we will be continuing with our projects of what we do every day of just repairing and renovating homes. We look at possibilities of what we might be able to do in terms of helping with additional housing, but we'll see. Those are all in our planning
fun.
stages right now.
Well, I know whatever the case may be, you guys are going to do great work, and I know the people who you are impacting are super appreciative of all the work
Thank
that
you.
you do.
Thank
Yeah.
you. They're
Mary,
blessing
Mary,
the
thanks for
world.
being our guest and
Yes.
all that you do. And,
Thank you.
as a person of faith, I believe that God works through us, right? We are those hands and
Yes.
feet, and that's the good works and the good works and those things we were able to understand and explain there. So it's goodworkssc.org. Mary Higginbotham is our guest here, and what a blessing. If you would like to be featured on a future edition of Chamber Neighbors Podcast, please reach out to Paul at chapinchamber.com. We hope you'll continue to listen and subscribe to future episodes.
This has been the Chapin Neighbors Podcast, where we highlight all that makes our community special. We hope you enjoyed our time together. Please like, subscribe, and share the Chapin Chamber Neighbors Podcast.